Alrighty, folks, I'm still feeling great on a Saturday morning, and of course, you already know why. We're 3-0 in our last $3.99 daily best plays on my website. We once again had Baltimore yesterday, and they took care of the Marlins by the final of 5-2. They held Luis Arias hitless, had a couple really good games, multi-hit guys on the roster. Actually, Adam Frazier had a couple of homers and 4 ribbies in that one. Now, guys, we also cashed in on 3 other plays on that website yesterday as well. We had the Giants, Dodgers, and Braves. And the only way you could have accessed all of those winners is to be a chairman member on that site. And before I dive into some more of that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my Major League Baseball free pick video, part 2 here today for Saturday, July 15th, 2023. We actually had part 1 come out a little bit earlier in the morning. This is the rest of the slate. Of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been doing these free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, guys, I'm 3-0, my last $3.99 daily best plays. And of course, that membership is only going to cost you just $1.99 for 30 days of service. You're going to get one of my personal plays every single day for the next 30 days. Now, if you want to access every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive chairman package. Chairman members get access to every single personal play, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you also get access to my chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. I currently have over 550 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Guardians at the Rangers, 4:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is minus 155, totals 9. Andrew Heaney for the Rangers, Gavin Williams for Cleveland. Now, Williams has just 1 win on the year with an ERA in the 4s. He's also backed by one of the worst offensive lineups in the league. These guys are in the bottom 5 in runs per contest. They're facing Andrew Heaney, who's got 93 punch-outs in 86 innings. Now, these Ranger hitters have also been impossible to get out. They're averaging double-digit hits a game at Globe Life Field. Adolis Garcia, he is the most RBI in the league right now. Corey Seager's hitting .355 with an OPS in the thousands. When it comes to the total, the Rangers are 70% to the over in their own building. No real surprise there. They also went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Cleveland. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Give me the Rangers minus 155, over 9. Next game, Marlins 7:05 East. Baltimore's minus $1.15 at Camden Yards, totals 8.5. Kyle Gibson for Baltimore, Braxton Garrett for Miami. And as good as Garrett's been, well, he might not get the run support he needs today. The Marlins are a bottom 5 run-producing team on the road in the National League, especially surprising considering you have the best hitter in the league in your lineup. Even Soler, great at the dish, hits for power, a lot of ribbies. Now, they're going to have to face Kyle Gibson, who's got 9 wins on the season, along with 89 strikeouts. And even if Gibson struggles, the O's have had little problem getting the job done at the plate this year. Baltimore's a top 5 run-producing team in the American League. Austin Hayes bats .313 and leads the club in hits. Ryan O'Hearn is hitting .312 with an OPS nearly in the 900s. Chisholm and Davis are still out for the Marlins. The Fish are 63% to the under in their interleague road games. The O's on the other side have gone 67% to the under against National League opponents themselves. Give me the Orioles minus $1.15, under 8.5. Next ball game, Pods, Phillies, game 2, 7:05 Eastern start time. Philadelphia is minus $1.40, totals 10. Ranger Suarez for Philadelphia, Ryan Weathers for San Diego. And even though weather stinks, the Phils don't play good enough for Ranger. They took the loss in 3 out of Suarez's last 4 starts. And aside from striking out more times a game than most clubs in the National League, the Phils also have a losing record against National League opponents. As bad as Ryan Weathers has been on the bump, the Pods have given him run support recently. San Diego averaged 5 runs a game in his last 4 starts. Now, the Padres also walk 4.2 times a game at the plate. That leads the majors. And of course, most of that is thanks to Juan Soto, who's walked a staggering 84 times this year. 84 free passes for Soto. He's got a 3.4 wins above replacement and an OPS in the 900s. Fernando Tatis, he's got a WAR just about in the 4s himself and a high OPS average as well. Pods are 6-2 to the under in their last 8 Ryan Weathers starts. They're also 60% to the under in all of their road games. Philadelphia has gone 62% to the under at Citizens Bank Park. Give me the Padres plus 1.5, under 10 in Game 2. Next matchup, Giants-Pirates, 7:05 East. San Francisco's minus 165, totals 8.5. Alex Cobb for San Francisco, Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh. Now, Oviedo's got double-digit losses on this season with an ERA close to 5. He's officially 3-10 on the year with a 1.42 whip. Now, the Buccos have also won just 2 games in the month of July. They've become a bottom 10 hit-producing team at home. Unfortunately, they're facing Alex Cobb here today, who's recorded just 2 losses in 89-plus innings. The righty Cobb's 6-2 with an ERA of 2.91. The Giants are also one of the higher run-producing teams on the road. They're in the top 5 in the National League in runs per game while traveling. Lamont Wade's walked 53 times this year and has an OPS of 842. Meanwhile, Austin Slater hits 337 with an OPS just about in the 900s. Estrada's still out for San Francisco. Bay, McCutchen, and Hayes still out for Pittsburgh. The Pirates' last 3 straight at PNC Park got over the number. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. 3 out of the Giants' last 4 road games got over the total themselves. Give me San Francisco minus 165, over 8.5. Next matchup, Twins, A's, 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Minnesota's minus 230, totals 8 runs. Pablo Lopez for Minnesota, Hogan Harris for Oakland. Now, Hoagie's got just 2 wins on the year with an ERA in the 6s. Now, the A's still have the worst record in baseball, and they score the fewest amount of runs. They're facing Pablo Lopez, who's been a strikeout machine. The righty's got 138 punch-outs and a 1.09 whip. Now, these Minnesota pitchers allow fewer runs per 9 on the road than any other staff in baseball. They're striking out a league-high 9.5 batters a game on the road as well. Polanco, Gordon, and Lewis still out for Minnesota. Laureano, Smith, and Ruiz inactive for Oakland. Now, the A's have averaged less than 3.6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Minnesota. The under cashed in 60% of those ball games. Meanwhile, the Twins are 26-18 to the under when they hit first. Give me Minnesota minus 1.5, under 8. Next game, Brewers Reds, 7:10 Eastern start time. Cincinnati's minus $1.25, totals 9.5. Andrew Abbott for Cincy, Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. Now Freddie's 5-7 with an ERA close to 5. The Brewers also really struggle at the dish. They're a bottom 3 hit-producing team. They're also striking out nearly double-digit times a game. They're facing Andrew Abbott, who continues to pitch well. The lefty's got only 1 loss and a 1.03 whip. Now, this Reds lineup is also no stranger to rounding the bases. They're in the top 5 in the league in runs per game. Ellie De La Cruz, he's hitting .315 with a bunch of stolen bases. Meanwhile, TJ Friedl, he's got 111 total bases. And he also hits .303. Rowdy Tellez still injured for Milwaukee. 6 out of the Brewers' last 10 meetings with Cincinnati fell under the total. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Cincinnati saw 5 out of their last 7 Andrew Abbott starts stay under the total as well. Give me the Reds minus $1.25, under 9.5. Next matchup, Rays, Royals, Game 2, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Tampa Bay's minus 225 at Kauffman Stadium, totals 9.5. Cooper Criswell in Game 2 for Tampa. Cole Reagans possible for KC. And if Reagans does get the nod, he's been fairly lackluster this season. He's got an ERA of 5.92 along with a 1.40 whip. Now, these Royals pitchers are allowing just about 6 runs a game at Kauffman Stadium. They're once again facing a Tampa club who's in the top 3 in the American League in runs per game. 6 out of the Rays' last 10 meetings with Kansas City fell under the number. Actually held the Royals to just 3.7 runs a game during that stretch. Give me the Rays minus 1.5, under 9.5 runs. Next contest, White Sox, Braves, 7:15 Eastern first pitch. Atlanta's minus 295, totals 8.5. Spencer Strider for Atlanta, Lance Lynn for Chicago. Now, Linney's got a 5-8 record and a despicable ERA of 6.03. And even if Lynn has a good showing here today, he may not receive the run support he needs. The Sox are a bottom 5 run-producing team in the American League. Now, they're also facing one of the best pitchers in the game in Spencer Strider. The righty's 11-2 with 166 strikeouts. When it comes to offensive production, the Braves are scoring more runs per game than any other franchise in the National League. And a lot of that is thanks to Ronald Acuna. He's got the second highest batting average and OPS average in the majors. Acuna's also got a wins above replacement average of 5 flat. Meanwhile, Matt Olson, he's second in the bigs in homers and RBI. 3 out of Chicago's last 4 on the road did get over the total. They're also 60% to the over in their interleague road games. Give me the Braves minus 1.5, over 8.5 runs. Next contest, Dodgers, Mets, 7:15 Eastern first pitch in Flushing, Queens, New York. The Mets are minus 120 at Citi Field, totals 9 runs. Kodai Senga for New York, Tony Gonsolin for Los Angeles. Gonsolin's got an ERA in the 3s along with a 1.12 whip. The Dodgers are still pounding the baseball at the dish. They're a top 3 run-producing team. They actually lead the league in walks per 9 on the road. Mookie Betts has 54 free passes, 94 total hits, and an OPS of 962. Meanwhile, Freddie Freeman's got 114 hits on the year. He also ranks in the top 5 in both batting average and OPS. They're facing Kodai Senga, who does tend to walk batters. And speaking of walks, these Mets pitchers are walking 3.8 batters a game at home. That actually puts them in the bottom 5 in the league in that particular category. But it's actually not walks that they need to be worried about. It's their bats. The Mets are a bottom 3 hit-producing team at home. And they're actually averaging just 7.3 hits a game in front of their home crowd. LA went 7-3 the over in their last 10. They also saw their last 4 straight Tony Gonsolin starts get over the line. Give me the Dodgers plus $1, over 9. Next matchup, Nats Cards, 7:15 East. St. Louis is $1.95, total 9. Steven Matz for St. Louis, Jake Irvin for Washington. Irvin's recorded just 2 wins through 58 plus. He's got an ERA of 4.60 along with a 1.45 whip. These Nats pitchers are also walking over 3.8 batters a game. That's nearly a league worst. They're facing a Seattle team a St. Louis team who loves hitting the baseball at Busch Stadium. They're in the bottom 5 in the, they're in the top 5 in the National League in hits per contest at home. Paul Goldschmidt, he has the most hits on the roster. Nolan Arenado's in the top 10 in the National League in RBI. Kisner and Edman are still out for the Redbirds. Robles and Pineda inactive for Washington. The Nats did see overs in 7 out of their last 10 Jake Irvin starts. Meanwhile, the Cardinals are 60% to the over at Busch Stadium. Give me the Cardinals minus 1.5, over 9. Next contest, Yankees, Rockies, 8:10 Eastern first pitch. The The New York Yankees are minus $1.60. Totals 11.5. Clark Schmidt for New York. Connor Seabold for Colorado. Now, Seabold's recorded just one win through 70 plus. The righty's got an ERA of 6.65 along with a 1.51 whip. Now, these Rockies pitchers are also allowing 11 hits per contest at Coors Field. That's obviously a league worst in that stat. And as much as the Rockies have struggled, as much as the Yankees have struggled at the plate, they did score 18 total runs in their last two Clark Schmidt starts. Schmidt's got a handful of wins on the year through 88 innings. He's also got 87 punch-outs. New York went 60% to the over in their last 10. Colorado saw 3 out of their last 5 at Coors Field get over the line. Give me the Yankees minus 160, over 11.5. Next game, Astros Angels, 9:07 Eastern start time. Houston's minus 145, totals 8. Framber Valdez for the Astros, Reed Detmers for Los Angeles. And out of 85 plus innings, the lefty Detmers has just 2 wins. He's only 2-6 on the season with an ERA of 4.31. The Angels have also struggled at the dish at home. They're striking out 9.1 times a game at Angel Stadium. They're facing Framber Valdez on the mound for Houston, and he's been real good. He's got 116 strikeouts and a 1.05 whip. Now, this Houston pitching staff, they've been tough to score against on the road. These guys allowed just 3.9 runs a game in their travels. Now, injury-wise, Altuve and Alvarez are still out for the Astros. Trout, Rendon, Drury, Adele, and Neto are out for L.A. The Angels are 7-1 to the under in their last 8 Detmers starts. Houston, 60% to the under against American League opponents on the road. Give me the Astros minus 145, under 8. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It's going to be in that Tigers-Mariners game, 9:40 Eastern first pitch. Seattle's minus $2, total 7.5. George Kirby for the M's, Michael Lorenzen for Detroit. Now, Lorenzen's recorded only 3 wins through 87 plus, just 87 innings. Lorenzen, 3 wins, 87 innings. 3-6 with an ERA in the 4s. Tigers can't hit for shit. Dead last in road hits per game. They're facing George Kirby, who's got 8 wins on the season for Seattle and a 1.04 whip. Meanwhile, as a whole, these Seattle pitchers have shown exceptional control. They're walking just 2.5 batters a game. That is a league best. The M's have held Detroit to just 3.5 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. They're also 9-5 to the under in their last 14 Kirby starts. Give me Seattle minus 1.5, under 7.5 runs in that very tight window. With that, folks, quick pick recap time. Rangers minus 155, over 9. Baltimore $1.15, under 8.5. Padres plus 115, under 10, game 2. Giants minus 165, over 8.5. Twins minus 1.5, under 8. Reds $1.25, under 9.5. Rays minus 1.5, under 9.5, game 2. Braves minus 1.5, over 8.5. Dodgers plus $1, over 9. Cards minus 1.5, over 9. Yankees minus 160, over 11.5. Astros minus 145, under 8. With my next and final free pick for the video, give me the Seattle Mariners minus 1.5, under 7.5 runs.